Hi, I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Listen, so many people ask us about mentorship. And so what we've done is that we have curated an opportunity for you to be mentored by us. Listen, that 4 opportunities, we call it the Destiny Journey.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we want you to know the first is you can be a part of. It's called Becoming a Couple of Destiny. And what that's about, if you're seriously dating, if you're married, engaged, join us on a wonderful journey of helping strengthen your relationship, your marriage, talking about it on a very practical level to help you have a healthy relationship.
Yes.
There's another one called
Family of Destiny, where we really hone in on how do you juggle it all? How do you focus simultaneously on your children, your relationship, your marriage, while not losing yourself in the midst of it all?
The third one we call a person of destiny. Now, this one is about personal mentorship, where you're actually able to be in a session with me or Dr. Steph exclusively.
By yourself,
Yes, and it's going to be powerful. We're talking about how to succeed in your vision and executing that and all of that. It's going to be a blessing. And then we've curated something very special for pastors.
And their wives,
and this one's going to be awesome because we recognize that leaders lead at a different level and understand different challenges. And it's so much that we have to deal with. And so we're going to have a very exclusive session for just pastors and spouses. So if you're interested in being a part of any of these cohorts, here's what you do. Go to josephwalker3.org, go click menu, and then about, go down until you see Destiny Journey. Then I want you to fill out that form and then choose the cohorts that you desire, and our team will follow up with you. We are excited to share with all of you that God has given to us to pour to you, that you can truly be connected by destiny and understand that
connection is the new currency.
That's what it's all about. So we'll see you then. Be blessed. Hey everybody, I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this YouTube channel. Every week, we're so grateful to have you connected. We are so excited that you're a part of this community. And of course, we call it our life, our journey.
Our truth.
And listen, I want you to make sure you like, comment,
and subscribe.
Please do, because we want you to share this with as many people as possible. Be a subscriber. This is a community where we are locked in on helping each other become all that God would have us to become. And let me tell you, I want you to follow Dr. Steph right now. Follow her at Dr. Steph Walker out there on Instagram. Follow me at Joseph Walker 3. And you know what? I want you to go to josephwalker3.org for our books. We got several books and also some cool merch, of which we are wearing today. Maybe you want to rock this whole idea of connected by destiny and connection.
Is the new currency.
What? I'm telling you, and we've also got Becoming a Couple of Destiny, any color, any size. Just go out there, josephwalker3.org, go to the bookstore, get all of that. We appreciate you so much. So listen, we're excited today because we're going to talk about something we're very passionate about.
Oh, yeah.
We're often in the role of mentor, and people ask us all the time, well, how do you choose a mentor? And I think that it's important to have this conversation because a lot of folks just don't know how to choose one.
And the importance of a mentor, right? Like, people sometimes look at others who are climbing and think that they're doing it all by themselves. Or in reverse, people who are climbing and get to the top act like they did it by themselves. But the reality is, we're all doing it with help, right? Again, connection is the new currency. And so identifying and understanding that identifying mentors, identifying people who can help you along the journey, that's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of strength and it's a sign of wisdom. But the question is, how do you do it and do it right and do it with intentionality?
Yeah. And I think when you really understand, like, what are you looking for in a mentor? And I think I want to say this out the gate. You know, we talked about this in our private time. And I think it's important when I look out in the landscape, social media and all of that. Let me just be clear. Be very clear about this one principle. Because nothing else we say on this episode, write this down.
Right.
Don't chase the flex, chase the fruit.
Yes. Amen.
How about that?
Basically referring to, don't just look at what someone is doing from a superficial standpoint or what they say that they're doing, right? You want to go to the very end and see what is the finished product.
Yeah.
If they say that they're doing X, Y, and Z, you should have fruit that shows that there is something coming from that
Yeah.
that's beneficial. Like, okay, that's great, yay! Okay, now what are you doing? What's the outcome, right?
Yeah, and that's the whole point, because I think oftentimes we get caught up in the illusion of, because a person drives this car, a person's on Instagram talking about, I did this and that.
Flexing.
I want to make sure
Right.
that that's actually fruit and sustainable fruit
Yeah.
in this relationship. So when I
Yeah.
connect, I'm after that. It's so very important. And I think that when you think about really connecting for the fruit, I think you put yourself in a position to really, I think, go to this next level. Go ahead.
And receive
Yeah.
everything that is coming out of that relationship.
Yeah,
right?
which I think, write this down. Write this down. That when you look for a mentor, you got to get past wanting a selfie to wanting the strategy.
Ooh. That's good.
How about that? Like, you're a fan. You're like, I just want a selfie. No, I want strategy.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me how you got
did
the
it.
fruit.
How did you do it?
How did you do it?
Yeah.
And it's so important, right? Because you mentors that are willing to give you that see you as a viable mentee, someone that they're willing to pour that in, because they're not going to pour that into somebody who is not serious.
Oh, and also, they're not going to pour it into someone who just wants the tricks of the trade, right?
Yeah.
Who wants the shortcuts.
Yeah, the shortcuts.
Like showing somebody like, look, help me understand how you did it. Like, help me understand the grind. Like, help me understand the schedule, the commitment, like the determination, like all the things that really went into climbing the stairs. That shows that you're actually willing to put in the work in order to get to where they are, because guess what? It took work. It really did.
And I think sometimes what happens is that we go into these relationships and you don't realize that these people are successful for a reason.
For a reason,
And the thing that's important in picking a mentor is to make sure you understand, listen, that a person who's a mentor, you got to be a good steward of their time. Time that they give you, mentors who are successful associate time with money. And you cannot be a person showing up late for the meeting, rescheduling, talking about you busy. They're like, wait a minute, you busy?
Hold on, wait a minute.
I'm busy. I'm busy, right?
Like, you need my help.
Yeah, you
right?
need my help. And so I think that,
Careful now.
and that's so important, right? Because I think when you show up and you're serious and you're locked in and you're on time and you're before time actually, and you show yourself as a sponge, I think you can benefit from the relationship a lot better.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah, so mentoring relationships is so important, because I always say most important decision you could ever make in life, one of them, is who you allow to mentor you.
Well, it's really who you allow to pour into you. And I would argue that it's spiritual as well, right?
That
If you have people speaking into your life, and you have people guiding you, leading you towards your destiny, that's spiritual.
That is different.
Right? So you have to be really careful about who you allow yourself to sort of connect with. Like he said, it's a sponge.
Yeah.
You got to be careful who you're seeping information from and gleaning from, right? Like he says all the time, what you stand under is what you understand.
Yeah.
So it's also not just about what they're doing for that grind, right? It's also about how you live in your life. Right? Because no matter what they're doing for that grind, yes, you're going to be absorbing that, but you're also going to be absorbing, again, this is spiritual, how they're living their life. What are they doing behind closed doors? Are they people of integrity? Are they people who are upstanding citizens? Are they people who are about virtues and values? And if not, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you're doing. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that energy to sort of seep into my life, impacting me in a negative way.
Yeah, and I think when you think about a person being spiritual, you think about even those low moments of your life. You know, how do they cope? How did they deal with the tragedies or the challenges of what they did to be successful? And when you think about it and you process that, it really helps you understand this person has a good foundation spiritually. And I think that's so
And you
important.
can also, because they've been through or they've experienced or they're coming from a place of wisdom, given those experiences, they can then speak to you in those times of sort of trouble or low moments for you.
Yeah. So when you think about it, listen, mentors are necessary. They're important. I would never try to achieve anything in my life without having someone who could help me get there.
Right.
one
And
of
who's already done it.
who's already done
Yeah,
it. I think one of the things that we lose sight of, and I had to help somebody with this recently, that we often think that I must find a mentor in the same field that I'm in.
Yeah.
And you don't.
Yeah.
A lot of my mentors are in different vocations, but they understand the level of leadership and pressure and challenges. And so when you think about mentorship, don't be, limited to people who only do what you do.
Yeah.
Every mentor you have can't be a physician, can't be a
Yeah.
pastor. Sometimes there are people who do other things at higher levels and it can help me achieve.
And it's because skill sets are transferable.
There it is.
When you are going after a goal or a dream or, starting a new business perhaps, like what you are after are the characteristics that lead to success, right? And so when you understand what those characteristics are and how to hone those skills in your own life, again, those are transferable. I say all the time, like people who are successful and who are constantly climbing, what you will frequently find is whatever they touch seems to turn to gold, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's because of the mindset. It's because of the skill set. Like, there are people who, go to Harvard and study to be, X, Y, and Z, and then they say, you know what, I just want to be happy. And then they quit, and then they go open a bake shop. And then they become millionaires, open up a bake shop or a cookie store or a restaurant or whatever. And it's because they're taking those same skill sets and transferring them to any industry where you're going to find your passion and find success.
I think one of the things that is important, and I think we can tie a bow around this whole conversation, is never allow yourself to be mentored by someone who cannot correct you.
Yes.
If correction causes you to disconnect, then you're not even mentor ready.
You're not mentorable. Right.
That's
you
the
have
word.
to be teachable.
Teachable.
You have to be able to. So, for example, we take mentorship very seriously.
Yeah.
Yes, I want you to, gather, gain skills and glean from me. But if I see you going left, what kind of mentor am I to not say something about that and help try to guide you back in the right direction? You don't want to find yourself in a position where you're looking at this person who's been mentoring you all along and has shown themselves to love and care for you and actually really want you to do the right thing and go in the right direction, and then look them in the face and say, to heck with you because you're trying to correct me, I hate you, I don't like you, you're jealous of me, or whatever those negative emotions frequently are that sort of come out when you really don't understand, right? Like, no, it's iron sharpens iron. No one worth their weight in salt is going to look at someone that they actually care about and watch them run off the cliff.
Yeah.
They will say something. I'd rather you be upset at me for correcting you and guiding you back in the right direction, and then years later find out that you're really successful, then watch you walk off the cliff, and then you turn to me years later and say, well, how come you didn't tell me, Yeah.
So, as I tie a bow around it, I think that it's so important to look at some practical ways you can actually engage a mentor.
Yeah.
You be in situations sometime and you're like, I don't know if I can approach that person.
Right. What do I say?
You're getting scared. How do you do it? Like, how did you find, like, was it just an organic thing in your workplace? You talk about your mentors in medicine, or how did you actually engage a mentor?
Well, some were organic, but some were flat out, hello, my name is Dr. Stephanie Walker or Stephanie Hale, whatever season of my life I was in, and I admire your body of work, and I would love for you to mentor me, period. I mean, even there was one person that I read an article about, and I think I was in Philadelphia, and it was actually an article that they wrote about a topic that I was very interested in. And I reached out to them. They were way in Northern California and didn't know me from a can of paint. I sent them an email, introduced myself, asked them to mentor me, and they responded. And I mean, still to this day, still in touch with these individuals. And so, I think it's about not being afraid of taking a chance, because the reality is many people are flattered when you ask them to mentor you, but you have to be ready to make that commitment. You know, you just can't be like, oh, can you mentor me and be all flaky.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I've seen from your body of work, or this is what I've observed. This is where I'm trying to go. Do you think you could mentor me? Do you have time? And then when you ask for time, you know, do you have about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Not do you have an hour?
Oh,
Can we meet
God.
for coffee? Can we meet for lunch?
Yeah.
Do you have like 3 to 5 minutes to chat?
Yeah.
Most people will respond to that because they understand that you understand the commerce of time.
That's so important, right? I think also when you think about how you present yourself, like how you dress, you know, how articulate are you? You know, how do you make eye contact? How do you, again, a steward of that good time? I think that's so important. And when you're going after a mentoring relationship, always think about, you know, dressing conservative, making sure you're not flashy and, you know, all that.
Well, it just depends, right?
who
It
you're trying to
depends
get.
on who your mentor is
That's
and what industry that you're in and what you're trying to do with your life.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but I think it's important that people see you first.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yes,
getting at, that they
yes,
see you. And I think
yes.
that you have a very clear, in those 3 minutes, that 5 minutes, you have to have a very clear plan. Don't go in not prepared for this
Yeah,
moment. Take
yeah.
time, think about if I had 2 or 3 things I wanted to ask this
Yeah.
person or I needed. I want to be very succinct when I show up. I think that shows the mentor
that you're
prepared.
serious.
Yes, yes.
Because when you show that you're serious, then they're more than willing to continue to open up their calendar for more interactions with you.
Yeah, yeah. And then allow them to respond in terms of what's the best time to meet. You are the one that should be more
Right.
flexible. You know,
Right.
say, hey, when can we meet? Whatever you say, I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
That shows a mentor you're dead serious. Like, not
I've
like,
had people
let me look
that,
at my calendar
yeah,
and
so
say,
like, I
when
can
you
only meet here, here,
Oh,
here,
no,
and
no.
sorry,
No,
but aren't
no.
you supposed to be helping me? Like,
Right.
what? Hold on, time out.
Right.
Close that chapter.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's so important, right?
Yeah.
And so, but one of the things we've done very uniquely in our church in Nashville, and wherever you are in the world watching this, you could actually be a part of it. And but folks we have a thing called Professional Connect.
Yeah.
The Professional Connect is an opportunity where everybody in every particular vocation are connected in our ministry. All the pharmacists, all the physicians, all the teachers, all the lawyers. And
yeah.
so a part of what they do is they allow in these groups mentees to find mentors. So if it's something that you're interested in, and maybe you say, hey, I'm a creative, or I'm an engineer,
Yeah.
or I'm a painter, and I need a mentor, it may be an opportunity to go in one of these groups and chat with some of these folks to get some good
Yeah.
information. So all you gotta do is text the word connect to 78228, connect 78228, and they'll send you a form of how to connect with one of the groups, and it'll be a blessing, because I just really want to see people achieve greatness. And doing that means you have to be very intentional about who you allow to mentor you. Think about it biblically.
Yeah.
Like Moses mentored Joshua.
Yeah.
Watch that. Moses mentored Joshua. Elijah mentored Elisha. Paul mentored Timothy. Jesus mentored 12 disciples. And always remember that mentoring relationships are training for reigning.
Oh,
Not,
I love
not
it.
rain out the sky, but raining, like, you know, to reign. It's training for reigning. It's preparing you. Mentors are there to help you. And some mentors, this is important, are there for a season.
Yes.
Some are for a lifetime. And you have to know that. Some mentors come in your life and they're at strategic times and they move on.
And also keep in mind that mentors are not just for vocation or where you're trying to get in terms of your job or career. Like, for example, I have life mentors, I have marriage mentors, I have mentors in just about every area, or people who I've identified that can help me in various areas of my life, not just my career. Sometimes they are one and the same person, but sometimes people are just for specific areas or tasks. And so just also keep that in mind. Like, you don't have just one mentor, you can have many, multiple, for various reasons.
Yeah. So this conversation is so necessary. And even as you were looking out there and you heard at the beginning of what we talked about in this particular episode about the opportunities we've curated to mentor you, whether it's, a couple of destiny, whether it's family of destiny, whether it's person of destiny, whether it's a pastor and a spouse, however you're watching this, wherever we can be of service to you, know that we make ourselves available in that. And more importantly, know that ultimately we are committed to seeing it through with you.
And seeing you win.
Yeah. And that's ultimately what it's all about. So I'm grateful. And the thing that I'll say, one of the things about a mentor you'll discover is that you will always have that mentor in the back of your mind when you make tough decisions. What would this person
so-and-so do?
Yeah, what would they do, right?
Or what would they tell me in this
what would
moment?
they tell me during this moment? And that's the beauty. That's when you know it's the real mentor, because they're still speaking to you no matter where they are in their life, even if they transition. You can still remember
that's what I was gonna say.
some of those things that they taught you. And that's the beauty, because your life becomes an extension of theirs. Right?
That relationship transcends time.
It does. And I think that's been the beauty of it all. And so I think as you pray about it, pray about it, and then put yourself in position about it. Position. Be prepared. You see how this works? Pray about it. Put yourself in position. Be prepared when you get there. Got it? All those things are very, very important. And I believe that's when you'll start seeing more productivity in your life. And I think that that's ultimately what the goal is. So we're grateful and thankful for all of you today. I hope this has been a blessing to you. We want you to know that connection is really the new currency. And when you connect with the right person, you truly are connected to destiny. So we thank you for being a part of this episode, and we hope that you will continue to stay connected to us. We appreciate all of you so much, and make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all those good things. Go out there and be great. But listen, get you the right mentor, and know that if you get the right one, you will never regret it, right?
Right.
God bless each one of you. We thank you so much. I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
And we out. Peace.